Hello and welcome to the Wire Talks. I'm Siddharth Bhatia. The emphatic victory of the Congress party and the defeat of the BJP in the Karnataka elections has surprised observers. For the Congress, it comes as a morale booster, and the BJP loses its only outpost in the southern states. What does this mean with a year left before the general elections of 2024? Are state elections different from national elections? Will this bring opposition parties together as a cohesive unit to fight the BJP? My guest today is an astute and experienced observer and participant of the national scene. He is a veteran and third-generation congressman. His father, Khurshid Khan, was a minister, and his grandfather, Dr. Zakir Hussain, was the third president of India. But he retains the ability to look at the big picture dispassionately. Salman Khurshid has been the Union Minister for External Affairs, is a well-known lawyer, and has written several books examining the state of the nation, including Sunrise over Ayodhya, Nationhood in Our Times, and Visible Muslim, Invisible Muslim, as well as Triple Talaq. He also wrote a very well-received play, Sons of Babur, Play in Search of India. Welcome to the Wire Talks, Salman Khurshid.
Thank you.
You wrote on social media recently that the Congress victory comes as a whiff of fresh air in an ambience of toxic fumes. But you also say one swallow does not a summer make. Are you trying to say that the party should not be complacent?
Well, I think the least that we can do is not to be complacent. Certainly, this is, as I said, a whiff of fresh air. This, I think, a shot in the arm. You can use all the colorful language that tells you of something wonderful that has happened. I'm sure that this victory has been predicted for a long, long time. But I'm sure to the last minute, people who were involved and engaged internally were concerned that nothing should go wrong and nothing should upset the apple cart, etc. We've made it, and I made it for good. And I think there's some elements that can be isolated as very meaningful elements in this victory. But, well, a lot of people say, certainly I added the one swallow bit myself, a lot of people say that this is not a semi-final, don't take this as a stepping stone to 2024. And I think that's sensible. That's sensible to be careful. There are streams of attitudes that have helped us win this election, and some of those streams would flow into other states as well. But there are some very regional factors, may include the leadership control and the leadership outreach that we saw in Karnataka. So there are some that may be more specific to Karnataka and may not matter elsewhere. There's some common themes that I believe could be influential in other states as well, which will go to elections a few months down the road. So in all, I think good thing to have got started with, but still a long way to go. I mean, we have first hurdle to cross, which I think we are working on, and that's the opposition unity. Beyond opposition unity, at least on the surface, the actual tactical moves and the detailed discussions that happen at the state level and so on is the second big hurdle. And the third is to carry conviction in the election itself, where how well we manage our unity perception and unity projection will be important. So those are the steps that we must take over the next few months. Not a long time, not a great deal of time, yet enough for us to be well prepared.
So anyway, 2024 is still some time away. Before that, there are some crucial elections, especially in states where the Congress still has some presence. And in fact, one government it did have in Madhya Pradesh, but it was broken. What do you mean when you said this? What do you mean that certain factors will be local? For example, in Rajasthan, some factors will be extremely local and some factors in Madhya Pradesh. And so what exactly, is there a magic formula, silver bullet, or does each time, every election you have to work on?
I think every election has its very special attributes and we need to work on. I think this is true even for the BJP. You may have, and a lot of people have an impression that there is a set one size fits all as far as BJP is concerned, because that size that BJP projects is a very large size, etc. We would take our measurements carefully to fit everybody that then comes into play as we move from state to state. There may be some negative issues in some places, and I do believe that in Rajasthan there's a negative issue that we must quickly put to an end. Elsewhere there may be positive issues, negative issues that have been turned into positive issues, etc. So we'll have to be planning for each state, very specifically for that state, borrowing whatever helps from any state that's done well, borrowing from there, but ultimately going down to the grassroots and ensuring that we have a plan that is particularly fit for that state itself. That's what we need to do, and I think we are already underway doing that.
Before the victory in Karnataka, did you see changes happening in the Congress? Would you say that these changes have played a crucial role in framing this, creating this victory? What were these changes, if you think that there were changes happening?
See, I think that as far as Karnataka is concerned, the internal changes for Karnataka Congress were already in place, and that's been there for some time. The dual leadership of Mr. Siddharth, who is now the CM, and the Deputy CM was very, very clearly already in place. Of course, we couldn't have said, and we didn't say as to who would finally lead the pack. There were very specific attributes of both leaders, and in this D.K. Shiv Kumar becoming Deputy Chief Minister, but remaining President of the party, is an underscoring of the contribution that he made as the party leader, organizational leader. He's been credited with that in a very, very specific way. So as far as Karnataka is concerned, the changes, so-called changes that you need in order to go straight for a victory were already there. And I think they were in place and they worked together very well. Maybe sort of periodic fine-tuning was needed, visually or otherwise, and that fine-tuning did happen. One important factor that Karnataka had, and which every state doesn't have, but some of the other states that are coming up for elections will have, and that was the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Bharat Jodo Yatra was a very significant moment for the party to say that, look, don't just see us as a moribund party, see us as an active, see us as a vigorous, see us as a proactive party, and see us with people connected with us. You know, we are not in isolation. This propaganda against us that we are isolated, that we are tired, that we are retired, etc., is bunkum. We have a lot going for us, and you just have to show it on the ground. And then, you know, showing it for a rally which lasts for about 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours is quite different from showing it day after day after day, 24 hours a day, which is what Mr. Rahul was able to show, not just in Karnataka, but elsewhere as well. But in Karnataka, I think it just fell right into the spot where we needed it. And I think it gave us that extra impetus. But it was essential, it was important, but it was necessary, but not adequate, not enough. There had to be something more, which the party provided, and altogether, we got the winning formula.
Have you been seeing changes at the national level slowly happening? Because, the propaganda about the Congress, myths about the Congress are high command, Gandhi family, etc., etc. But have you been seeing changes happening? Some obvious, some not so obvious, some subtle, whereby the Congress is reshaping itself?
I think that's a very, very important and interesting question. But just before I answer that, lest it be seen that I undervaluing an important factor in Karnataka was the fact that the Congress president today is son of the soil, is from Karnataka. And obviously that would inevitably play a major role. And I think it has, and it looks upfront, it looks very obvious. But when you talk of changes in the Congress party, yes, the changes in the Congress party are apparent from the time that he was picked. He was picked as Congress president by a very, very sort of widespread choice of Congress party voters who were to vote for him. Of course, that followed by other decisions that the party took at Raipur in his leadership were all very important. But at no point was our leadership missing from providing him complete backup. And so Srimati Soniagandhi and the brother-sister duo, Mr. Rahul Gandhi and Mrs. Priyankagandhi Vadra, were there all the time, backing him to the hilt at every point. And I thought there was a fantastic synergy between them working. But the intense propaganda that had been projected by the BJP against the Gandhi family was, I believe, dented to some extent, by the manner in which we presented the new Congress, without compromising in any way on the leadership of the Gandhi family. People kept saying, are they the leaders or is Mr. Kharge the leader? And that used to be a tough question to answer. And we had to keep saying that they are leaders in themselves. They don't need a position. Mr. Kharge is a leader and also in position, chosen not only by them, but by the entire party. But this was a new structure. And this new structure now must be followed up with a new committee, a new Congress working committee. We don't have one, and I hope that we will have one very quickly. But changes at the grassroots level and changes in terms of head of party units have quietly been happening. And then, of course, I'm sure that Mr. Kharge consults with Mr. Rahul Gandhi and Sonia ji quite often, but it's not that visible. Those of us who may be involved in the close quarters of the party may know that the consultation continues all the time. So even when we were talking to Mr. Kharge, was hosting leaders of other political parties, including Mr. Nitish Kumar and Mr. Tejasvi Yadav, Mr. Rahul Gandhi was there at his residence, at his house. So if Mr. Rahul Gandhi was not there, it would be a different kind of meeting. Mr. Rahul Gandhi being there made it a different kind of meeting. So the change is there, and yet it's the same. So we have change which helps us gear up for the challenges that are coming. But the core which holds our ideology and which holds the faith of the Congress worker, that remains constant, which is a good thing.